Hello, welcome back to Let's Run, or Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong. And when last we left, we got our sins cleared. Oh, there's a toilet. We can't really talk to him. We go to our stash. Oh, he's in our party already. Meet with kindly Chang. That's just window dressing. I'm also getting close to finishing Generation 2 on Agarest. Oh, the atmosphere and the people and the... It's just so much nicer. Everything, I mean, the models aren't all that much better or anything like that, but I mean, good grief, just the sheer amount of details added here. What the heck is that? I mean, all of this is, a lot of this is just random assortment detail. So much more, so much busier than even the hub in Dragonfall. Can you talk? Nope. Hmm. There's Issa and Gobbet, I think is your name? Who are you? Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. Oh, that's lovely. The clicking of mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of kindly Chang. That must be you. You are indeed standing in a blood spot I didn't notice at first. And is that circle is the talk to this person circle? That's a drop cloth. She beckons to him with her finger, and he struggles towards her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. His pants are wet with fear, and a acetylene torch lies on the table at Chang's right hand. Kindly Chang ignores the scene. She behaves as if all is right in the world, which for her it probably is. How did you sleep, my little ones? Like a baby, Auntie. I'm still in the afterglow of our tour on the walled city. Not too well, Auntie Chang. I had a bad dream. Fine, thanks. What's with the guy on the floor? Don't mention it. Well, you're Shadowrunner, not Gangland. You might not have the etiquette to not mention it. This is a little bit flowery for you, but it's snarky. I'll go ahead and do that. The Triad's boss's eyes turn into half moons of amusement. Afterglow? Afterglow? Really? She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat staying behind her. Then you should be delighted to say hello to your old friend Strangler Bao. He's here because of you. How very pleasant to see you again, Mr. Bao. Bao inclines his head 1/4 of an inch. A very, very bare nod. Well then, now that the niceties are over, and I can't get your voice right. I had a specific voice for you, but it's been a while since I played. Let's get to the nasties. She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it your rest was undisturbed, and your location remained a mystery. She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Not at Strangler Bao. Bao inclines his head, 1/4 of an inch. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, shitbird, tell my friends here what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. I just got the orders last night. He pushes his head towards you and Wu from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up? The old woman lifts her foot, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. How high? The cop looks at her, looks around the room filled with triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way, all the way. It's someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead. Cheng spits on him with a sneer. Fuck your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. The cop wears the spittle. He never lifts his head. It's the truth, madam, I swear it. Whoever it was labeled them as terrorists. We're to terminate them with extreme prejudice. Kindly Cheng shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into his scalp. She pulls back hard until his chin points high. The triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. I swear, if I end up working for Lone Star at the end of this, because I mean, I haven't ended up working for a terrible private cop organization yet. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzz-cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night someone on the Executive Council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill two nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating, don't you? You know they can. Here we go. Not really. Corporations can just order the cops to kill people here. You already know that. Your backstory. The backstory I did not give you already tells you that. I call that some messed up shit. You already have issues with that, so I'm going to go with this one. Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hand. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the ways of the world. Propriety, my darling. When the government has someone gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. The people feel safer when their murders feel like part of civilization. My, but you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. The megacorps control the government. Here, the corps are the government. The exec council is chosen by the corporate board of governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots neat and efficient. I'm not sure the term branches would be used outside the United States. I'm not entirely sure how many countries outside the United States use that structure. I'm sure a fair number do, because there were a few that copied our Constitution, and Japan kind of did because we gave it to them. Gave, quote unquote. Kindly Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and the civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. She looks around the room, but not for us. The triad woman takes a long pull from her cigar and taps her ash on the kneeling cop's head. Who else knows about my guest's visit to Hioi? Shitbird? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here, I swear it. She turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao. There he is, right there. Boy, you have some really stripped out portions of skin from your cyber arms there. Bao fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing calls on his PDA. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. She nods at the cop. Thank you for your honesty. In one smooth motion, Strangler bow produces a silenced pistol, which I was reading so I didn't get to see it, except out of the corner of my eye. Fires it once in the policeman's head, replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expressions. This probably doesn't bother you too much. The Shadowrun is not ruled by law. Shadowrun has a facade of rule by law. It's feudalism, it's gang warfare, it's tribalism. It is an apocalypse. It just doesn't look like one. I was wondering what we were going to do with him. I'll be the snarky one. Looks like the triads can be just as efficient. Chang takes a drag in her cigar. Yes, my darling. She balances her cigar on her shot glass, really. Picks up some mahjong tiles and begins playing with them absently. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city. Something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. She stacks her tiles one by one, click-clack. Now they want you dead for it, too. This plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day, too. She knocks the pile over and it clatters to the table loudly. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead black eyes. Work for me. With Nightjon got shot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here, players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavory needs about town. You've proven yourself as resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That can be a positive in this line of work. And just let me point out that she's come and talked to you 3 or 4 times. We've already done an errand for her that's relatively high profile. I have a feeling people will already be connecting us to you. Shadowrunners. Wu grunts. His jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods to the body not the body on the floor. The pool of blood on the plastic wrap continues to widen. You'll have safe harbor here in my town and a steady source of income. I have to say, this is so far one of the most punkish of the 3 so far. This is one of the most brutal. The other ones were really light on the details of the injuries and such. Somebody said that this is a little wordy for their taste. I really like it. It's like reading a novel. With illustrations, obviously. She picks up a handful of tiles again. And while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black. Where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, what this prosperity could be. What's in it for you? I'm going to go with the more spelling it out. You're putting out a lot of effort to help a pair of foreigners. Not foreigners, my sweet, valued business associates. I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then ordered the corpse to execute my team of Shadowrunners. Her voice drops and she becomes deadly serious. This is a brazen disregard for my power. Fate dictates it must be confronted or I stand to lose everything. That makes sense. We're Westerners, isn't that a liability in your business? How would this arrangement work? We need to find out who killed Raymond and why. Let's double check this. Oh no, on the contrary, there's a good market for out-of-town talent that's waiting to be exploited. Plus you're an unknown, a surprise if you will. I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what our clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee and a small percentage of your earnings. You make a lot of new yen very quickly. It's all very civilized. She leans in. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you. and help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. And she's right, because the game does not provide us any avenues coming into this other than Kindly Chang, from what I can tell. Granted, I've not gotten this far in the game before, so. You need a partner. Kindly Chang will be your partner. Wu's hand goes to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little confused. I gotta wrap my brain around this, Killeen. Things are moving fast. There's a lot to process. Think about it, Duncan. This gives us freedom to find out what happened to Ray. Freedom is a very interesting word for what you're getting yourself into here. I know, I get it. I just gotta reconcile this whole... He grips the back of his neck, squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Ah, fuck it, I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. He nods. The decision's made. I'm in. What about you? All of these are I'm in. I think Ray's still alive, too. Let's run the shadows and figure out what happened to him. I gotta find out who killed Raymond. Someone's gotta pay. I'm in it until I can clear my name and I get the hell out of Hong Kong. There's good money in the shadows. It's about time I cashed in. I'm into... I didn't have anything back home anyway. Do I want her... Okay, these middle three... These middle two here. These two I don't really want. 1, 2, or 3. I think she's cynical, so I think 3 is out. Or I should say 5 is out. So it's either going to be 1 or 4. Do I want her to give some emotion or not? I think yes. I'm going to find out who killed Raymond. Someone's going to pay. If I thought Raymond was dead, I'd agree with you. But he's not. Raymond is alive, I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Ching keeps up her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what really happened to him. Then I'm going to find my father. Well, if he's alive, I'll certainly be celebrating. Except for this is Shadowrun, so if he's alive, it'll be something horrible. Then it's done. Heoi is now open to you. She gestures to her lieutenant, who raises a finger to her ear and whispers into her sleeve. First order of business. Noel here has already chosen a street name. She turns her attention to Wu, but Duncan Wu doesn't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Yeah, okay, I'll think of something. Gobbet rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her. I think we've already got you covered, gun show. She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was going to stick. It has stuck. Gobbet, Isabel, we'll handle this the same way we did with all your previous work. She didn't say Nightjar. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. She's pointing at you. Why me? It's a simple process of elimination. She points to the little decker. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. She moves her finger to the orc girl. As for Gobbet, let's just say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. It's not my thing. Then she rests her finger on Wu. And then there's Gunshow. She wiggles it. The jury's out on Mr. Gunshow. Meaning there's a lot going on in that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. Her response is direct, straightforward. Oh, joy. So I'm in charge because I'm the best of the worst. I'm going to support Gunshow. Duncan, Gunshow will be fine. Trust me. Kindly Chang makes eye contact with you and holds it. She keeps it steady for a long time. Wu doesn't notice. Don't worry, I'll be cool, Killy. I had a handle back in the Barrens. Noel, guess it's time I dusted it off. You've already given it. Killeen Vickers doesn't exist anymore. Call me Noel. We already kind of dealt with these two because we already gave our shadow names. So, okay then. I guess I'm running the show. That one's the only one that makes sense. Wu shakes his head, eyebrows raised. Going to be weird calling you Noel again. Haven't called you that since we were kids. Gobbet looks from Isabel to Wu to you. I guess this is our new crew? Rat on her shoulder scurries to the top of her head for a better view. Welcome to the shadows, Noel. Sounds like she's been there before. Are you heading out? You are heading out. Is there anything we... As much as I love your company, I have business to attend to. Clear the hell out of here and go get settled in. Kindly regards you coldly, lifts one hand in a dismissive wave. So we're not really working for her. She's acting as a fixer. There are probably a number of Shadowrunners that use her as a fixer. Crew advancement available. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right down here hand corner of the screen will open the crew advancement menu. When this icon is highlighted, one or more of your companions is eligible to learn a new combat skill. At each advancement level, you may choose one of two possible combat skills for each of your runners. Choose wisely. And this was the way that it worked in Dragonfall, so we're going to go ahead and deal with that. Spirits will never break away the first 2 rounds after summoning them. Territoriality. Increasing her range combat skill and SMG specialization by 1. I like using spirits, so we'll do that. Cancel. Okay. Yeah. Don't want to confirm all. We haven't picked anything. Okay. Duncan gains a rifle ability that does 2 AP damage and unbalances targets, making them easier to hit on subsequent attacks. This ability cannot do underslung beanbag. Cannot do critical damage. Okay. Gains an assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo. Does an additional 2 damage and pierces up to 2 armor. That was my timer going off. I like the crowd control idea. It provides some flexibility. Augment weapon mini launcher. This build's grenade launcher can now fire remote mines, which can be triggered to detonate at will. Gains the Tar Blaster 1.0 program and an upgraded version of Blaster that also sticks enemies in place for 1 round. You're our Decker, so improving that seems a good idea. And I think that's going to be confirm all. Yes. Now they're stuck. Okay. Okay. And now everything's open to us. Wait. Where is the old guy that was here that used to sell weapons? Activate the mission computer. Okay. We don't have much money yet. I like some flexibility in my character. Sometimes I do specialists, but mostly I like some flexibility because sometimes you get in a place where your specialization does not work. Your workstation and mission computer. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. Check your inbox for new messages. 6 unread new messages. Welcome to Hayoi. On behalf of your friends at the Hayoi Chamber of Commerce and the Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Hayoi and to our new business venture. I have already lined up 3 jobs for you. The details of each are contained in a separate computer message. Remember to check your messages often, as I will update you with new opportunities as they occur. Let's go back. Check the inbox. Mission computer. Hey, Noel. I've set up your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports, information, and media that might be of interest to you. Some of the keywords I've got it trolling for are things like Raymond, Duncan, Walled City, etc. Prosperity, of course. I've also patched in a permanent link up to the Hong Kong shard of the Shadowlands BBS, which there is a callback to the 90s and tells you when this game was invented. BBS shards. Oh my goodness. That was a thing in the 90s that you would call it the local BBSs. Or the 80s and 90s. The 90s. Then the aughts happened, and the World Wide Web happened, and it's not so much a thing anymore. I mean, there's still some of that, but really it's not so much of a thing anymore. It's a great place to connect with other runners, sell pay data, get news from the street, and so on. Don't be shy about taking a look. Resources. I have been instructed to inform you of this is Strangler Bow, various suppliers at present in Haoi. Auntie Chang has cultivated a commercial district of well-stocked and trustworthy vendors. Whoever you choose to do business with, you will be in good hands. Ermine Cafe at Club 88 is an excellent resource for acquiring additional weapons should you require any. If you are in need of magical supplies, go to the Parlor of 5 Phases. If you desire training in the path of the adept, seek out Spider Shin. She can help you, as well as supply you with close quarters weapons that you might desire. I have cyberware. Chrome Alley can supply you with cybernetic enhancements and medical supplies. The proprietor, Tin-Armed Ambrose, is a cyber surgeon of some repute. Law's Technopalace is Wampuan Run. I can't say that word, and I'm probably mispronouncing it horribly. Run, supplier of the local decking community. The place is hard to miss. Just look for a sign glowing in the sky. So you would, if you were playing a decker, you would set up Ezobel to be submachine gun. If you need drones, reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar is your best bet, and I pity you. I pity you. So this is a game that doesn't really have classes. If I wanted to, I could go into Magic from this point on. It would be a really long, hard climb. And I think my essence is a little bit ridiculous, ripped to shreds already. But I could do it a little bit. So a decker can become a street samurai pretty easily. A street samurai can become a decker or a rigger pretty easily. We don't actually have a rigger, and I doubt I can set her up to be a rigger, so I might consider that. But I doubt it. Best of luck in the shadows. As fresh meat, you are likely to need it. Okay, here we go. I've got a problem, Noel, and you're going to help me solve it. I do a lot of business Wampoans. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll forgive you. You are an outsider after all. Wampoans are a tribe of techno-fetishists. Oh, it's not a modern thing. And deckers who've taken up residence in the Whampoa garden area of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of New Yen passes through their pasty little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals between them and the smugglers here in Haoi. I've hit a snag, though. The Whampoan elders, their council of leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. They've asked me to dispatch someone to get to the bottom of it and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do. So you're going to be my proxy, dear. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Whampoans have a delegate here in Haoi by the name of Maximum Law. Speak with him if you wish to know about Whampoa. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. Oof, oof, oof. You get your ass down to the Whampoa garden and talk to the elders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, so long as they're convinced there won't be any more murders. I want my cut back, and I want it soon. I'm going to take that run. Good, I'll tell the elders you're coming. They don't like outsiders, and they might shoot at you if I don't warn them they'll be arriving. Okay, back to roots. Check. Artifact liberation. Welcome to the Shadows, Noel. I've received a request from an archaeologist named Mr. Drake. That is not a worrying name at all. No! He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath a manor house located in Type. Oh, manor houses make me think of Dragonfall. I've attached a copy of the video message that he sent me. Mr. Drake. Hello, Madam Cheng. I've heard that you're a woman who knows how to get things done, especially with regards to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That's exactly the kind of help I'm looking for. The scene flickers a few times and the email is replaced with the face of a stern-looking orc. Recently, a rich investor by the name of Louis Hua decided to expand his manor house on the outskirts of Tai Po. Too much money, not enough space for fancy parties. He hit a snag with the local government officials, however. They suspected the land his estate was built on may have pre-modern archaeological artifacts buried beneath it, all of them dating from the Song dynasty. Consequently, I was contracted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations and ensure everything was properly recorded and catalogued. Sure enough, we were only a few days into the excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Liu or I had expected, several acres of catacombs at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they are certainly older than the Song dynasty. They may even be from the previous cycle of magic. Before I could make my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Liu called in his allies in Tan Tien Incorporated. Liu sold the entire site to Tan Tien, who then leased it back to him. Because Tan Tien is considered to have extraterritoriality in Hong Kong, local authorities are powerless to stop Liu from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. Can you believe that? The odds of there being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil, but he doesn't care. Anything to sell a few tickets. Yu has continued his excavations using Tan Tien contractors to expand the dig. What he didn't know is that I bugged his comlink before he fired me. Based on what I've heard, something strange is going on in the lower levels. Workers have been disappearing, only to be found dead several days later. Whatever is down there is too dangerous to be left in Liu's hands. Liu must have found my data line tapped, though. I stopped receiving any information 3 days ago. The last thing I heard him talking about were a pair of ancient texts the workers had discovered. Then he issued an order that further excavations should be halted until he can secure the subterranean areas. I'm betting those texts are the cause of whatever's killing the workers. I have quite a bit of experience with these kinds of dangerous excavations, but an operation of this scale is beyond me. I need a team that's tough enough to get in and survive, aren't afraid of making a mess, and who can get out with the books and whatever else they can carry. Beyond the 2 texts, I'm willing to pay very well for whatever other artifacts your team can liberate. The more valuable, the better. Don't worry, they'll be going to actual museums and not some rich playboy's mansion. I've got a second program in place that'll suppress Liu's security system. The team will have to be careful, though. There are only so many alarms I can suppress. Go beyond that number and I'll scrub the mission. I've included a catalog of likely items to help the team appraise the most valuable ones. They don't need to be subtle. In fact, I'd prefer they make it look like a common robbery. Tell them to smash and grab what they can. Let me know when you find a suitable group of Shadowrunners. There you have it. Nice, simple robbery. Do you think you can handle something that basic, dear? I have faith in you. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. I'll contact Mr. Drake when you're on your way. I'll take the run now. Excellent. I've attached directions to the U's estate to this message. Please don't fuck this up. Did I have... Yeah, I had timer go off a long time ago. So give me a moment, go on to the next video.